Hi, it's Christopher the Bronze Age Nerd. Let's talk about my weekly pickups and some speculation talk about why I picked these books up and what you might want to look out for in your local comic shops or online. So this is the video where I talk about the pickups I've made over the last week, and I also talk about why I picked those comics up, whether it's for personal value or personal collecting, or if it's for speculation purposes, and I sort of give some loose analysis of why I'd be speculating on those books. If you've been following this program and watched a few of these, you'll notice that this is a little bit different format than what I've done in the past. So I want to see if I can show you the comics in a little bit better detail, and we're trying something out. We'll see if you guys like it. The first batch of comics I'm going to go over is from eBay auctions, and it's all G.I. Joe stuff. So I went a little G.I. Joe hunting. So the first comic is this classic Adam Hughes Baroness cover from G.I. Joe 2 from the IDW series. This is a comic that I've been after for a while. I love Adam Hughes' work, and I've just liked this cover for a long time. I pretty much collect Baroness covers, so had to have this one. It's probably the most iconic Baroness cover there is. Next, I got a copy of G.I. Joe 44, and this is actually not Lady J's first cover appearance. Don't be fooled if you're out there looking for Lady J spec because of the new Amazon series coming soon. This is not her first cover. It might look like it because she's very prominently featured on the cover here, but that's actually not her first cover. However, it is a very cool and iconic Lady J cover, and when this comic lands, I could definitely see this sparking some interest. There's also some other minor first appearances in here, and I got that comic from one auction, and I really wanted to make sure I had a couple of these, one to spec on and sell, and one for my personal collection, so I went ahead and got 2 copies. So 2 copies of G.I. Joe 44. And while you're out there getting G.I. Joe comics, this is a fantastic one to grab. A lot of good first appearances in this. This is G.I. Joe 11. This happens to be a second print. I actually have a first print of this comic that's signed by Bob Camp, who is the legendary cartoonist and comic book artist. He did the cover for this particular issue. This is a really awesome issue. It's the first appearance of Destro in cameo, so that's going to be an important character later on. If they do any kind of movie or stuff with Baroness, for example, like in this Lady J series, they're going to do Destro. He's a fan favorite character. And if you're going after this book and you're looking for that Destro first appearance, and it is a cameo, you probably want to keep your eyes peeled for this comic. Which obviously that's Destro on the cover. It's his first cover appearance and his first full appearance. So I got a newsstand copy of that. This actually came from Canada, which is kind of funny because there is a Canadian price variant of this comic as well. This is not the Canadian price variant, but it's just funny that it came from Canada. I have a second copy of this coming as well. So something I'm definitely going after right now. Next, I have a cosplay cover from Jamie Tyndall and Comics Elite. This is a White Widow cover. And as you can see, that's an Ashoka Tano cover. Very cool cover. These cosplay covers are always kind of interesting. This is certainly no exception. Pretty cool that it's signed. I didn't see that coming, so that's really neat. Okay, this next one is a bit of a story. I will try to keep it a little concise. I might actually do a full video on this later. I really wanted a copy of Encoded. Number 1, the B cover, which is this cover. And there's a seller on Instagram. At this point, I'm not going to disclose that seller's name, although if I do a full video on it later on, I probably will. I went after this comic and had a few issues with the seller. This thing arrived very damaged. I'll probably roll in some photos right now of that damage. And you can check out some of the terrible dents on the spine. Packaging was totally fine, guys. So, and gals. So there was nothing wrong with this in shipping, I wouldn't think. He also included several other comics with this, which is interesting. So what happened is, this seller, I once before asked him about a Something Is Killing the Children #1 Jay Lee cover that I had ordered from him. And the day I asked him, hey, could you send over some tracking info for that comic? Basically, it had been a couple weeks and I hadn't heard anything and nothing had showed up. It was during a crunch when there was some shipping issues going on. I wasn't saying that the seller did anything untoward. I just wanted tracking to see if it had been lost in the mail. And the same day that I had sent that message to him, the comic showed up. So I said, hey, you know, my bad or whatever. The comic showed up. Thank you. Fast forward to this comic not arriving. It had been 3 weeks. There's not really a ton of shipping delays going on from the part of the country this is coming from. And I simply said, hey, can I get tracking for that comic? He said, lol, you always do this. I did it twice, and it was, you know, it had been a couple weeks on the other one, and I never said anything bad about it. I just said, hey, can I get tracking? And then miraculously, I get a shipping notice 2 days or the next day that this had shipped out. So clearly, and he never sent me a message or anything. Clearly, he never sent it out, and he decided to send it out. And I guess as a make good or an A-OK or something, not really an A-OK, a make good, he sent in some other comics. They all arrived. This was the only other one in the shipment that was bagged and boarded. And it's the other cover for Encoded, and that arrived totally fine. He included a couple other comics that were not bagged and boarded and got a little dinged up in the shipment just because they weren't bagged and boarded, but they were freebies, so not a big deal. Bedlam, Invincible Iron Man, and this book actually has a little bit of spec on it, Jupiter's Legacy. I think that's the sketch variant, but still a very weird situation, very weird deal. So I don't know what's going on there. I contacted him, said the comic arrived. He sent some strange messages, but in the end he said, I'm shipping you out another copy. So I'm just gonna see what happens. If it arrives and it's in good condition, great. But I'm leery to say the least, because it just seems like he either included a copy he knew was damaged to spite me, or maybe he didn't notice. That's possible too. And it's not like it was his only copy he had lying around, and you know, things got lost in the shuffle. And if that was the case, wouldn't you message me and tell me what's going on? And this comic, it's not an expensive comic, guys. With shipping, I paid $14 for it. It heated up a little bit when it came out. I really wanted a copy. I'm into the whole like cyberpunk sci-fi pinup art thing. It's the reason I liked Aphrodite IX back in the day. There was some cool Aphrodite IX covers back in the day that had that kind of similar aesthetic. I think his name was David Wool. Did the covers for, I want to say. Could be wrong about that. Maybe that was the writer. Anyways, and there might have been Finch covers, actually, now that I think about it. But yeah, just some interesting stuff. We'll see what happens with this one for sure. Speaking of Aphrodite IX, this is a comic that for a while was actually a little hot. And it is a sexy cover. It's a sexy cover incoming warning. But it's cooled down substantially. You could buy this for I think what it cost back in the day. I think I bought this for $5. This comic also arrived damaged, which is unfortunate. There's, you know, you can't really see it in the picture. There's a couple non-color breaking spine ticks, it looks like. So hopefully it would press out if this ever gains meat on it. But honestly, it's just really a book that I've wanted for a while. I used to have this as a poster framed in my room. And I really like this character, and yeah, it's, you know, it's a sexy butt cover, sure, totally. But there you go. Speaking of sexy covers, another sexy pickup. I got this from Economics and Comics, and this is his new exclusive he did. There's two comics, so I'll only really show you one of them, and that's the Hardly Thin Mike McComb cover. Mike McComb does a lot of the Zombie Tramp covers, and this was just a cool exclusive. I wanted to support Economics and Comics. You know, it's always cool to get exclusives like that. I didn't go for any of the crazy medals or anything. I just went for the set. Speaking of another cosplay cover, there's kind of a trend here with a few of these issues, and this one has a post-it on it, so you can't see part of the cover. This is a Pharaoh's Lounge cover. This was an election cover. There was a cover when the results of the 2016 election came in. There was a cover that was done with a typical blonde-haired woman walking away from America with a hockey stick and some skates and saying, like, I'm going to Canada. See you in 4 years or something like that. And then they did this cover as a, like, I'm back, you know, 4 years later kind of thing. So I picked that up, just kind of a fun cover. And of course I can't show you most of it. All right, next we're going to look at a Comics Elite shipment and talk about some potential spec here that I picked up, new comic books. For a lot of these, I follow along the Economics and Comics FOC, and I order comics based on that. Here we have Batman Black and White, issue 3. That's the A cover, I believe. Just this really cool Black Widow cover here by Adam Hughes. We have this Gretel Dark Watchers cover. Dynamite, that's the Sudum cover, or Sidum cover. And then we move into some Future State. We have Future State Catwoman. Future State The Next Batman. We have Immortal Wonder Woman number 2. And then I picked up 2 copies of the B cover on that one. So Haha's been really hot. I don't know if it's ever going to live up to the Ice Cream Man Second Coming hype that it kind of got ascribed to it. But I do have one A cover of number 1, and this is the second printing. And then I went with that cover for issue 2. Immortal Hulk Flatline. And that was rumored to have some key in it. I don't know if that actually ever materialized. I thought this was a sweet cover. I really like War Machine, so I got the Black History Month War Machine cover. And then I have the King in Black. King in Black's a big deal right now. A lot of stuff going on. This is the spoiler cover. And I also got King in Black Planet of the Symbiotes 2 with American Kaiju on it. And King in Black Thunderbolts number 2. I was talking to somebody in one of the comments of the video. I haven't read a single King in Black anything yet. I read some of the build up to King in Black, but I hate reading these giant, massive crossovers. It's just really annoying to read 70 issues and bounce back and forth and look at the reading order. I hate them. I don't mind reading them collected, so I'll probably wait till this is all collected and go through and read it all. So if I'm not super up on individual happenings of each book, that's why. Got my Radiant Black cover there. I really like that cover. It's probably my favorite one. Got some Sacred 6, number 7. Got Savage Avengers, number 18. This is another indie that kind of had some buzz. Stray Dogs, number 1. This is obviously the Silence of the Lambs homage cover. And then I got the variant for Thor 12. Got Truth and Justice, number 1. And then probably my favorite pickups of the week. X-Men Legends, number 1. I'll just switch out there. Mylar on Poly never does. It always wants to slide around. And then got the John Tyler Christopher cover there. If you know I'm a Cyclops fan, that's why I had to get that. I actually got a couple of copies. And then I got 2 copies of that as well. So yeah, just some fun stuff this week for the most part. Some G.I. Joe spec. That's kind of the the overarching theme. Some spicy covers, and then some King in Black spec, some X-Men Legends, which we'll see. They're talking about answering some of the controversies from the 90s, or not controversies, some of the unclosed loopholes from the 90s, like Adam X, as kind of the final piece of the Summers family tree, basically being revealed. Apparently, Summers family tree, man, it's a hell of a tree. A lot of branches on that thing, and most of them go through other timelines, alternate realities. So yeah, definitely some cool stuff. I really was surprised that White Widow Ashoka Tano cover got signed. That's pretty cool. And then, you know, just trying to support channels I like with getting their exclusives, and just, yeah, some neat stuff. So let me know what you picked up this week. I want to hear from you in the comments below. Can you tell me what covers you went after? What spec you think is really hot right now? I do have some more stuff coming next week. You'll see more G.I. Joe. I went after some other stuff. Like I said, I have another G.I. Joe 14 coming, which is another first full appearance of Destro, and some other stuff that I won't reveal just yet. I also should have a mystery box that's arriving from Torpedo Comics, which is also G.I. Joe themed. They did kind of a smaller one, which looked cool to me. I like mystery boxes if I know at least one thing I'm getting in them. And also this week I might have some action figure stuff to talk about with some House of X Marvel Legends. So hopefully I can get that edited in time and out to you this week. And also a CGC submission preview for the Chris Claremont signing. So that should be pretty neat. So that's kind of what's coming up next. If you guys have anything you want to see from my channel, or any topics you want to see me discuss, go ahead and leave a comment below and we can talk about it. The next big video that I'm planning on doing, that's kind of more of an informative video, is I am going to talk about first appearances and how to navigate them as a collector. So that's something I'm working on the script and writing right now. So if you have any questions about that too, feel free to mention them in the comments, and we can definitely try to work in any questions you have ahead of time into the video. So thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. It's been really awesome watching this channel explode over the last week. I know it's not a huge channel, but I went from a few hundred views on my best video to a few thousand views on my best video. Special shout out to Chris from Journos Comics and Pop Culture. His shout out and kind of, you know, sharing my video and putting some eyes on it really helped me out a ton and put a lot of new subscribers on my channel. I thank you all for watching my content. A lot of you I've seen hop around from video to video and make comments. It's really cool to see that. It means you didn't just think that's a one-time video and you're gone. I'm sure a lot of people did that too, of course. But you also went around and watched some other stuff and seemed to like it, which is really awesome. It's been cool talking to some of you. So thank you for watching again. And I just want to remind you, as always, hey, read comics every day.